Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 28, Text 28. Kaumodakim Bhagavato Daitam Smareta Digdhamarati Bhatashonita Kardamena Mala Madhuvrata Varuta Giropagushtam Chaityasya Tattvam Amalam Manimasya Kanthe. Translation. The yogi should meditate upon his club, which is named Kaumodaki and is very dear to him. This club smashes the demons who are always inimical soldiers and is smeared with their blood. One should also concentrate on the nice garland on the neck of the Lord, which is always surrounded by bumblebees with their nice buzzing sound, and one should meditate upon the pearl necklace on the Lord's neck, which is considered to represent the pure living entities who are always engaged in his service. Purport. The yogi must contemplate the different parts of the transcendental body of the Lord. Here it is stated that the constitutional position of the living entities should be understood. There are two kinds of living entities mentioned here. One is called the Arati. They are averse to understanding the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For them, the Lord appears with his hand clutching the terrible mace, which is always smeared with blood stains from his killing of demons. Demons are also sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, all the different species of living entities are sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are, however, two classes of living entities who act in two different ways. The Supreme Lord keeps on his neck those living entities who are pure, as one protects the jewels and pearls on the bosom and neck of one's body. Those living entities in pure Krishna consciousness are symbolized by the pearls on his neck. Those who are demons and are inimical towards the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are punished by his mace, which is always smeared with the blood of such fallen living entities. The club of the Lord is very dear to him because he uses this instrument to smash the bodies of the demons and mix their blood. As mud is kneaded with water and earth, so the earthly bodies of the enemies of the Lord or the atheists are smashed by the club of the Lord, which becomes muddied with the blood of such demons. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
The different parts of the transcendental body of the Lord. Here it is stated that the constitutional position of the living entities should be understood. There are two kinds of living entities mentioned here. One is called the Arati. They are averse to understanding the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For them, the Lord appears with his hand clutching the terrible mace, which is always smeared with blood stains from his killing of demons. Demons are also sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, all the different species of living entities are sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are, however, two classes of living entities who act in two different ways. The Supreme Lord keeps on his neck those living entities who are pure, as one protects the jewels and pearls on the bosom and the neck of one's body. Those living entities in pure consciousness are symbolized by the pearls on his neck. Those who are demons and are inimical towards the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are punished by his mace, which is always smeared with the blood of such fallen living entities. The club of the Lord is very dear to him because he uses this instrument to smash the bodies of the demons and mix their blood. As mud is kneaded with water and earth, so the earthly bodies of the enemies of the Lord or the atheists are smashed by the club of the Lord, which becomes muddied with the blood of such demons. So we are continuing to see Lord Kapila's instructions to his mother about the process of dhyana and how one should continue to meditate on the different transcendental different transcendental aspects of the Lord's transcendental body. And in this verse, referring to Kaumodakim, Bhagavato Dayitam Smareta, one should remember, Smareta, one should meditate upon Kaumodakim, the mace of the Lord, Gadha, and which is Bhagavato Dayitam, which is very dear to the Lord. This mace is very dear to the Lord. And what is the mace looking like? Digdham arati bhatashonita kardhamena. Digdham, it is smeared with arati bhata shonita kardhamena. Shonita is blood, kardhamena smeared with. Shonita kardhamena arati bhata. Soldiers who are inimical, enemy soldiers. So Digdham arati bhatashonita kardhamena, his mace is smeared with the blood of the inimical soldiers, living entities who are inimical. And malam madhuvratha varuta giropagustham, and he has a mala which is madhuvrata varuta giropagustham, and there are bees, madhuvrata, who are running after the madhu, the honey. The madhuvrata refers to the bees, and these bees are buzzing around giropagustham, and they are creating this buzzing sound, and a swarm of them swarming around this malam. And the yogi should smareta, one should meditate on this beautiful garland of the Lord with swarms of bees buzzing around and creating that giropa upakushtam, that kind of a sound. Chaityasya tattvam amalam. There are another kind of living entities, amalam chaityasya tattvam, referring to the chaitya here with chetana, referring to the living entities. And they are pure living entities, manimasya kanthe, and they represent the kantha, mani at his kantha, hanging from his kantha, from his neck. This is referring to the kaustubha, which represents the pure living entities. The yogi should meditate, smareta, upon his club, Kaumodaki, which is named Kaumodaki, and is very dear to him, Bhagavato Dayitam. This club smashes the demons, who are always inimical soldiers, arati bhata, and is smeared with their blood, shonita kardhamena. One should also concentrate on the nice garland, malam, on the neck of the Lord, which is always surrounded by bumblebees, madhuvrata varutha, with their nice buzzing sound, giropagushtham. And one should meditate upon the pearl necklace on the Lord's neck, manim asya kante, which is considered to represent the pure living entities, amalam, chaityasya tattvam, who are always engaged in his service. And we see here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentioning an interesting point, that how this verse is referring to the two kinds of living entities who are present in this material world. So there are some of them, arati, they are not attracted to the pastimes of the Lord. Lord's pastimes are very beautiful, very sweet. But there are some living entities, by misuse of their free will, they are not attracted to those pastimes. And the Lord deals with them differently. And there are also chaityasya tattvam amalam chaityasya tattvam. Chaityasya tattvam, jiva tattva, referring to jiva tattva, the principle of the living entities. There is another kind of living entities who have chetana, because the Lord also has chetana, nityo nityanam, chetanas chetananam. He also has chetana, Lord has chetana. There are living entities who also have chetana. And in their amalam state, in their pure state, they are represented by the kaustubha, money on his neck, on his chest. And Prabhupada is saying that how, if you have a very valuable jewel on your neck and on your chest, you will preserve it a little carefully. In the same way, Lord has a lot of concern and care for the living entities who are very pure. And He has a certain way of dealing with the arati, living entities who are not attracted to Him and who are inimical to Him. And so for Him, He has got the mace. He's clutching at the terrible mace, which is always smeared with the blood stains from His killing of demons. And the yogi should meditate on all of these aspects of the Lord. The Lord has these different transcendental ornamentations, and He has these different kinds of living entities, and He deals with them differently. But nevertheless, the Lord, although He deals with a maze for His arati living entities who are not attracted to Him, and He deals in a different way with His chaityasya tattvam amalam, the pure living entities. But the Lord, He is the Lord for both of them. Demons are also sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, all the different species of living entities are sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So ultimately, the Lord cares for all living entities. Even if they have become arati, He cares for them. Even if they are amalam, all the more He cares. And so this is the nature of the absolute truth. Prabhupada explains that if we do good things to others, right? If we care for them, if we help somebody, if we relieve somebody's suffering in this material world, we get punya, right? And because of that, we can enjoy more in next life or even in this life. And if we do harm to someone, we get papa. So, because of which we'll get a reaction of suffering. But in the Upanishads, it is described, the Lord is apapa vidhi, which means papa cannot touch Him. Because He is of a different nature. His position is transcendental. Not in the framework of the laws of karma that we, conditioned souls, are subjected to or working within. He is in a transcendental position. So even if the Lord smashes them, smears the blood from their bodies, and all of those kind of slightly looks like very bloody kind of situation here, Lord having a mace which is, but these are all very transcendental. It is another way of showing His favor to the living entities. The Lord has different ways of showing favor to his living entities. He deals with them differently, but both of them are showing favor to the living entities. This is the nature of transcendental reality, transcendental truth, the absolute truth, that there is always, he has goodwill and well-wishing of all living entities, because even the demons are his sons, and he has to deal with them in a different way because they are in a certain kind of a mentality, certain kind of a situation, and how to benefit them and how to benefit the chaityasya tattvam amalam will be different. So the Lord deals with them differently. But he's showing favor to both of them. So actually, when the Lord kills the demons are benefited. We know about that. Prabhupada writes about that they get sarupya mukti and sayujya mukti in some cases. And when the living entities in the material world, they are suffering due to their papa, which is again sanctioned by the Lord and approved by the Lord, because Lord approves that yes, somebody goes through this kind of a suffering, and it is with Lord's approval. Even there he is actually blessing the living entities because they have accumulated too many papa, and he is diminishing that. Because if you want to come to the level of bhakti, which is the Lord's intent, we have to become free from sin. If we are situated in sinful activities, it's very difficult to come to the point of bhakti. So, Isham tva antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajate mam drudhavrataha. So if we have to come to the stage of drudhavrata bhakti, one has to antagatam papam. So different ways Krishna is finding out for the living entities to diminish their papa burden that they carry, they accumulate because of their sinful activities, sinful desires. And all of these are, and sometimes when the living entities accumulate too much of sin, because they are very sinful and they are known as the demons, then Krishna even uses this mace to smash them and kill them, and in that way show them the favor. There's a very nice passage. I'll read this from Srila Prabhupada's purport. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he descends to this material world for two purposes, namely paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam, to relieve the devotees and kill the demons or non-devotees. These two kinds of action are the same for the absolute truth. When the Lord comes to punish the demons, he bestows his favor upon them, and similarly when he delivers his devotees and gives them relief, he also bestows his favor. Thus the Lord bestows his favor equally upon the conditioned souls. When a conditioned soul gives relief to others, he acts piously. And when he gives trouble to others, he acts impiously. But the Lord is neither pious nor impious. He is always full in spiritual potency, by which he shows equal mercy to the punishable and the protectable. The Lord is apapa vidham. He is never contaminated by the reactions of so-called sinful activities. When Krishna was present on this earth, he killed many inimical non-devotees, but they all received sarupya. In other words, they returned to their original spiritual bodies. One who does not know the Lord's position says that the God is unkind to him, but merciful to others. Actually, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha. I am equal to everyone. No one is my enemy and no one is my friend. But he also says, Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. If one becomes my devotee and fully surrenders unto me, I give him special attention. Like we give special attention to a valuable jewel on our neck. Another example of Lord showing mercy to a very fallen living entity is in Krishna's pastimes, in Kaliya Mardhana pastime. Because one becomes a snake if one is very, very sinful. So Kaliya was very, very sinful. So that's how he had a body, that kind of a body. But on that snake's hood, Krishna jumped and danced and smeared the dust from his feet on the head of Kaliya. And Kaliya's wives, the Nagapatnis, realized this. And when they offer their prayers, they mention about that. This is reading from the Krishna book. The Nagapatnis began to offer their prayers as follows. O dear Lord, you are equal to everyone. For you there is no distinction between your sons, friends, or enemies. Therefore, the punishment which you have so kindly offered to Kaliya is exactly befitting. O Lord, you have descended especially for the purpose of annihilating all kinds of disturbing elements within the world. And because you are the absolute truth, there is no difference between your mercy and your punishment. We think, therefore, that this apparent punishment of Kaliya is actually some benediction. We consider that your punishment is your great mercy upon us, because when you punish someone, it is to be understood that the reactions of his sinful activities are eradicated. It is already clear that this creature appearing in the body of a serpent must have been overburdened with all kinds of sin. Otherwise, how could he have the body of a serpent? Your dancing on his hoods has reduced all the sinful results of actions caused by his having this body of a serpent. It is therefore very auspicious that you have become angry and have punished him in this way. We are very much astonished to see how you have become so much pleased with this serpent, who evidently performed various religious activities in his past lives that pleased everyone. He must have undergone all kinds of penances and austerities, humbly honored others, and executed universal welfare activities for all living creatures. So from this we can understand the truth of the Lord's punishment. And although it appears like a punishment with his mace and all of those kind of things, but it's actually another way of showing his favor to the living entities. So these are all the different aspects of the Lord. The Lord has the aspect of protecting his devotees who are very pure, and he also has the aspect of diminishing the burden of the sinful reactions of living entities who commit a lot of sins. And so paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam vinashaya. So he does all of these things, but they may be appearing different, but because he is the absolute truth, that he's actually showing favor to all of them. And so all of these, the Kaumodaki, which is smeared with blood, and his Kaustubhamani, which represents the pure devotees of the Lord, all of them are actually very, very auspicious, transcendental aspects of the Lord, and the yogi should smaretha, the yogi should meditate on all of them. So this is the Lord's feature, that he is always merciful to the living entities, whether he is punishing or whether he is rewarding. And the yogi should meditate on all of these aspects of the Lord. This is what Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.